Hello all, very good afternoon. We'll start in next 2 minutes, just waiting for the attendees to join in. Yes, thank you. Hello all, a very good afternoon. Before I start, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, I have a little bad throat today because of the weather. So I'll try my best to be audible nicely. So yes, again, hello all, a very good afternoon. Myself, Ekta Dubey, on behalf of the Brinalytics team and our presenting partner, Compass AI, we welcome you all on our very interesting roundtable, which is scaling startups with automation. So before we start this interesting roundtable, there are few guidelines that I would like to highlight and make you people aware of. I would request all the attendees to be on mute when the panel is going on. Of course, we will be encouraging Q&A session when the attendees are taking their part or sharing their thoughts. There are a few guidelines. You need to raise your hands, unmute yourself on your video, introduce yourself, and put your question to a panelist. So before we start, I'm happy to introduce our partner, Compass AI. Compass is a software that gamifies your incentive programs, integrates your CRM, pick one of their interactive game templates, and publish it in less than 10 minutes. No more spreadsheets. With easy to publish game templates, leaderboards, and analytics, Compass empowers your sales manager with game-like elements, rewards, recognitions, and complete access to relevant information. Compass motivates your on-the-ground sales force to do more. The end result is a highly energized organization with accelerated performance and sustained growth. So on today's roundtable, we have interesting thought leaders who will share their insights on how automation will give startups an edge in 2022 and beyond. I'm happy to introduce a wonderful set of speakers. We have Mr. Debojit Sen, Business Head with Card Deco, Mr. Himanshu Singh, Senior VP and GM with Happy, Mr. Akshay Vatla, Senior Director of Marketing with Ognito, Mr. Nikhil Sinha, Senior Director with No Broker, Mr. Bijendra Tripathi, Vice President with Square Yachts, Mr. Atul Mehta, Senior Vice President with Razor Pay, Mr. Aditya Sharma, Director of Sales with Topo, Mr. Vaibhav Jain, Senior VP Global Sales with Simzi, and Mr. Himanshu Baid, Heads of Sales US with Zozodin. Now I'm glad to introduce a very wonderful moderator, Ms. Rucha Vele, Manager Marketing with Compass. So thank you once again, all the thought leaders for making it today. And over to you, Rucha, to take the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Ekta.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today and so glad that all of you agreed to join us today. And a very, very warm welcome to all of you, both the panelists and the audience. So, to start with our session today, let us start with a quick round of introduction. I am going to call out your names in no particular order. So, please don't be angry at me if I take a little time to get to you today since we have a vast panel. Can we start with you, Aditya?
Sure, Richa. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be a part of this Power Pack panel. Thanks, Brainalytics, to organize this. I am Aditya, working with Topper. I have a 14 year of experience in sales. I have worked in B2B, B2C, worked with large, medium, small enterprises. I have a various leading team from last 13 years. So I've done some study on the psyche of the salespeople. Probably, let's say, I'll share a few of my views on that. And I want your opinion on a few of the queries I have and the scenario we wish to know more about it. So that's a short introduction about me. The rest we'll talk and we'll discuss more on that.
Thank you, Aditya. Himanshu Singh.
Hi, Richa. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'm Senior Vice President and General Manager at Happy. I handle global GTM at Happy. I have close to 19 years of experience. Also, a board member in 4 other companies. I'm an investor as well. Invested over in 9 companies till now, startups. So it's a pleasure for me to join all of you and this elite group of speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. Bridge.
Yeah, hi everyone. All the panelists, very good afternoon. So I'm basically currently working as a VP in Square Yards, handling secondary business, which is resale and rental for NCR and Bangalore. For past 8 years, I have been associated with startups. With IndiaMart, was involved in launch of Geo as well. I've learned a lot from a startup kind of culture and would like to share my learning here as well and also learn from the panelists. So, yeah.
Thank you. Akshay.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Akshay from Ognito. I'm Senior Director Marketing over here. Not so fancy words, but yes, I just get started with the marketing stuff. It's almost a decade. I'm still learning, and lots more to learn and experiment on the marketing front for the growth and the user acquisition part. Happy to be the panelist speaker over here. Let's discuss more. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Atul.
Hi folks, thanks for inviting me. Really glad to be a part of this Power Pack panel. About myself, well, in my 15 years of post MBA experience, right, I'm from Ahmedabad in 07. For the first 8 years, I was on the, I would say, the implementation side of things, where I was a part of the data analytics practice at KPMG and also at PwC. So worked with a gamut of sectors, including FMCG, manufacturing, government sector, both in India and Middle East, where I was advising clients on how to implement BI, particularly softwares, and do analytics versus that. In the last 8 years, last 7.5 years, I've been with fintech startup now with Razor for the last 5 years. So on the automation thing, I've actually advised people a lot myself in my team. So just to give you an idea, in the last 4.5 years, Razorpay has scaled up around 100 odd X in terms of top line, 40 plus X in terms of bottom line, and some 20 odd X in terms of razors. I was the 121st razor. We are 2600 today. So looking forward to this discussion on how automation can help all of us.
Thanks, Atul. Vaibhav.
Thank you, Richa. Hi, everyone. This is Vaibhav. Currently, I'm working in the capacity of heading sales accounts at Scienzy. Overall, I have 14 years of experience across industries in consulting, logistics, and fintech in the past 6 years. Right. It gives me a proud feeling to be part of this event and happy to see Razorpay's progress As Atul just said, he was a 121st raiser. I was, I think, the 45th raiser at Razorpay. So glad to be part of an industry which is really growing, and look forward to learning from the panel here.
Thank you. Debojit.
Rucha, you're almost giving a musical chair feeling to this, to this introduction. But we should have a quiz at the end on what people learn. But yeah, great to be a part of this very august gathering. It's always good to be having good company while discussing on a very important topic of scaling up through automation. I have about 12 years of experience in edtech, in auto tech, as well as in media, and have always been in business roles. I currently head 2 businesses within Kardeka. I'm a VP and business head here, and have also keen interest in developing students through mentoring, and students in early corporates through mentoring and coaching. So look forward to this discussion.
Thank you. And finally, to my colleague Himanshu.
Hey Rucha, hey everyone. It's great to be part of this panel, and I work for Zozo and I'm working for a product called Compass, and I'm heading up sales for them. And super interested to see how the conversation goes here, and looking forward to learn from everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. So guys, to start with, there are businesses who take up automation, and then there are businesses like yours that are automation in themselves, have actually disrupted the traditional ways of doing business and are now run completely on parts on different levels of automation. So what are your some? I would really like to hear some thoughts on about automation, and probably one critical automation that you think has been radical in either your career, your industry, or
I think Atul would be the right person to start, because he can share better experience from his automation background. So probably Atul, I would request you to start.
Sure. Okay. So on the implementation part, well, I led BI automation at Pepsi, Qatar Telecom, Kuwait National Petrochemicals, Innofarm Fertilizers, Pernod Ricard, Reckitt Benckiser, National Field Urban Corporation, so on and so forth. And everywhere, it's always been initial hesitance, inertia. This is the way we do our business, and why should we do this? So I've always been on the business side of things, so telling them why you should do this, and nobody will lose their job. Actually, if 5 people are today preparing that Excel sheet or that whatever dashboard you have, those 5 people can then analyze and add more value to the business. Then on to my fintech part, well, from day one, we've been digitizing the payments. Okay. So here it is more about what value it adds to each stakeholder. So if you look at the money movement, or money that moves from customer to business, or business to business, or business to customer, business to government, government to government, so many permutations, combinations. It's in everybody's interest to make it automated, because cash is, so whenever I'm asked whose biggest competition, is it PayU or BillDesk or CCAvenue, my answer is my biggest competition is offline and cash. That is what we are competing against. That's what we want to get the system to get rid of. If you look at, so when thesis of my movement is explained, money has RBI governor's signature on that and trust stamp, and that trust is transferred. So trust stamp through automation also. Well, I'll not go into selling you digital payments. I'll come back to the topic, that's automation. The second question, that is one automation that I think which has added most value to me, is our Salesforce CRM. Razorpay, we started with Salesforce when we were some 30-40 folks only, and there's many people at that time thought, that was before I joined Razorpay. Many people actually thought, yeah, chal to raha hai Google Sheets, why do we need Salesforce? So my advice to everyone is just always think big, or don't think of tomorrow and day after, think of 5 years hence. And what value will it add to you? So today, I can proudly say that my entire sales life cycle, entire business life cycle is done on Salesforce. And there's a single source of truth. And that's what I've always advised my erstwhile clients also, that believe in having a single source of truth and with, options, different view options. For example, the report that a CEO looks is different from the report that a front-end sales folks looks. Okay. And the analysis that a CEO will do or the analysis that a sales leader will do are two different things. So automation not only helps you, look at the data easily, it also gives you that bandwidth to have more insights on that. And that's what I think Salesforce has done for us. And there are multiple tools we use. We use Slack for a communication. Slack is not an automation. Slack can, but the transparency and the history that you maintain on Slack is something that you can all today. I can actually go to the product Slack channel and see what new is happening in product. So what happens is fundamentally I see two things that automation brings to any company. One is the ease of access, and second, the time you can spend on analyzing and improving your org basis those insights rather than preparing those charts.
That's a nice insight, Atul.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry, Aditya, I'm sorry to cut you off there, but Nikhil, I'm so sorry we missed your introduction. Can you please give a short round of introduction? And I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, I think I missed the introduction. I am Nikhil. I am heading the supply side vertical at NoBroker. I mean, I have a decade of corporate experience, but I have been associated with startups since 2015. I was an entrepreneur myself. And since 2018, I've been associated with multiple, I've seen that Series A to Series D journey of startup, and right now associated with NoBroker. So as Atul was mentioning, I think without automation, it is very difficult for any startup to really reach to that level where you can become a big name in whichever industry you are in.
Okay. Thanks, Nikhil. Yes, please, Aditya.
So as Atul mentioned, the technicality and some benefits of automation, I'll give you an example of my last company where we have the same thing like the startup. The biggest challenge what we have in startup is the money. काम चल रहा है ना Google Sheet में, why we need extra to pay. So that is a challenge what every startup face, because there is some benefit what we can get in the future, but nobody can perceive that. But definitely being a sales leader, we all know as a sales team, the key to success is just the motivation. It's a very easy word, motivation, but how to motivate every day, every week, every month, every month on month, every quarter to the same sales employee is a tough task. Because one day we can give a good sales page, motivation, we can show the video and they can be motivated. Yes, we can do, we are tod phod karenge aaj, but what are the next day? Again, something new, but again, creation ka bhi, creativity ki bhi, there is an end to it. So definitely we need some stable solution for that. Like I told you, the motivation, people in my learning and sales team, there are three kind of person. One who motivates with the money. It's a basic, yeah, money can be a good motivator. But second kind of person who motivates with a challenge. They love to have challenge. They want to see themselves in the top 3, top 10 in the radar. They never motivate with the money, but again, they love to have challenge. Third, a very unique, jitna pagar utna kaam. So as a leader, we know how to tackle these things. So we face the same challenge, same team. As we know, in every team, there are three kind of person. 20% of the person who are outstanding, 20% are below average, and 60% are average. And these kind of scenario I've seen in entire career of mine. I've researched in another teams also. I found the same thing. And it surprised to me. The people are selling the same product with the same price, but still there is a differences in their performance. Definitely, I would like to have your opinion. I've been discussed on this, but again, let's come back to this. So in my organization, we come with the Salesforce only. There's a combination of Salesforce and Nitro. They come up with a solution where a salesperson can check on their app with their real-time incentive every day, whatever the money they are getting, whatever the incentive they are adding on it, what is their overall business, what are the overall money they're going to get on every week basis or a monthly basis. Earlier we have a monthly, then we started weekly payouts. So that helps a lot. So again, along with that, we started a competition in a game format. Let's say best zone in the Rockstar and some creative name. Then who's the top ranking points wise. So that played a very vital role in our success of in terms of sales, if I talk about, because salespeople, definitely every company pays a lot to the salespeople because they are the person who generate revenue for us. But the basic incentive part, which is the key motivator to them, salary never motivates any salesperson. That is a basic. It's the additional money, whatever they are getting, and what is the way they are getting, that's very crucial and important. They want to see themselves at the top. They want to see how much money they're going to get out of it. If they get day-to-day benefit of it, let's say on 25th or somebody who has already run the target, there are two things which comes in mind, that agla sale next month ke liye dal do, because next month ka bhi target karna hai, I'm supposed to do that. Or I am sitting at 1 lakh of incentive. If I do 5 more closer, I can be on 50,000 incentive more. So if we see that incentive, definitely he will drive that. So that is something can play a vital role in success of the sales team. That is how we build, and definitely we got a very good succeed in that entire business model of it. So that's all. Yes,
Right.
you can call out the other names.
Yes. Thank you. I'm sure Himanshu, I think, was unmuting himself.
Yeah,
Say
so
something.
I had a very good question. So if you're running like a very lean operations in a startup, as you say, like 10, 15 people are there, you move on to 20 people, 30 people. But how do you pick and choose where to put that money and what to do with that money? Because as you said, like money is the major factor for any of the CXOs, right? When they're running a company. So when you're running a lean operations, how do you choose? Okay, for the sales team, I need this. For the development team, I need this. And what is more important? How do you pick and choose? And what sort of automation will get you like a higher ROI in your understanding? This for all the panelists. So I just want to understand from you, Atul, and everyone else also here on the panel. What are your thoughts here? And Aditya also, like you're just talking about the sales automation, right? So how do you pick and choose? Like what is good for your company?
The question was where to spend more money or where to deploy that money.
Yeah, and what is the sort of automation that you think that has a higher ROI when you're running like a lean operations and for your startup that is there?
Okay, so one thing that I've always, as I told you, I use this CRM. I feel CRM is one thing which helps you, and my money deployment always has been to get more features out of that CRM. For example, earlier we started by only tracking the GMV and tracking the output from that. Then we started having the pipeline movement also. So today what I do is the way I measure my Salesforce efficiency. For example, there are many people who track it by the number of meetings people do every day. I personally don't like it because I don't want my people to do meetings. I want them to finally convert clients, because you are actually diverting the focus to doing more meetings than converting more clients or moving the pipeline. So my simple formula for this is I have 6 stages of a client: pitched, product agreed, commercials agreed, agreement signed, integration started, and go live. These are 6 stages. And final stages, when you say closed one, it can actually move to closed lost at any of these pipelines. For any stage, it can move to closed lost. Okay. Then I tell my folks that 3 months is normally takes to take an enterprise client live. 3 months, 6 stages. That means 15 days per stage. Today you're working on a pipeline of 10 accounts. So that means 10 stages should move every fortnight if you are following this cycle. Sometimes 10, 9 hoga, 8 hoga, kabhi 12 bhi hoga. But average, this should move. So what I track is I track the stage movement every fortnight, and then I ask people what's going wrong. And it also helps me provide them help required. If somebody's pipeline is moving very slow, you need to work closely with that person sales lead, or I have to go and do more calls or more meetings with them. So focus on the needle that's giving you output. Number of meetings don't give you your final output. Actually speaking, meeting is a liability. You spend money on meetings. Okay. The best salesperson in this world is who can convert leads without meetings. Of course, that doesn't exist, but that is something I will want everyone ki 1-2 meeting में convert कर दे बस. उनको 20 meetings नहीं चाहिए आपकी. So just focus on the pipeline movement, focus on the end results, and make sure that you have as less number of systems as possible. There's many people where I've seen workflow goes in some other system, commercial approval goes in another system, pipeline goes in another system, scoreboard is another system. Sales वाले समझते कौन सा system देखूं यार मैं करूं क्या इससे? Bring one system, converge them, and make sure that you make the salesperson's life easy or the business person's life easy with this. So that is my, more money, I'll strengthen the system instead of buying new systems. I'll strengthen my existing system.
Correct. Thanks, Atul.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, like Atul
Yes.
said, the basic what I understand is better. The conversion percentage is better for the company, better for the. So we need to work on the system which help us in increasing our conversion percentage. That is a key ultimately, because ultimately it will reduce the cost and get us more productivity. So if I talk Himanshu asked about the budget. So usually we invest around 2.5 to 3% of our overall revenue. An incentive, it can be in the system and everything. That is a more percentage what we invest usually. So that is also, again, it may vary month to month, but again, usually on an average yearly basis, that is how we work.
Okay, thank you. Nikhil, Vaibhav, do you guys also, and Deboji, do you guys also echo their thoughts, or do you have a different perspective on this?
I mean, Rucha, I have just one thing to add. I mean, definitely what Atul mentioned, pipeline conversion is more important. But what Himanshu mentioned, supposedly it's a small team. And I've seen that scaling up from small teams, specifically managing field, inside sales, both. One thing which I feel a lot of companies do not miss investing in the initial stages is your marketing automation. If you ask, I mean, at No Broker, I mean, one thing which we have seen, I mean, I have earlier worked with EdTech also. So a lot of companies think performance marketing or maybe product marketing is something which they go last. And maybe CRM is something which definitely improves the productivity of that. But what Atul mentioned, if we are able to target, or if we are able to target the right set of audience using our performance and product marketing, the conversion percentage automatically moves up. At the same time, optimizing the ROI which we have. So with a very small team, as you mentioned, cost is definitely a factor. But with the right set of marketing, right set of targeting, and since all of us are right now working with tech organization, optimizing the funnel on the tech application is very easy. I'm speaking perspective of a B2C where the sales cycle may be say 3 to 7 days versus a B2B where the sales cycle can be a couple of months. So in B2C, optimizing the performance marketing is something where I would put my dollars in when I have a small team, where a lot of companies I see missing out on.
Correct. Akshay, I would like to bring you in here. What are your thoughts on that, considering this is something that the marketing team drives, but ultimately almost always benefits the sales teams and the entire business unit, so to say. So what are your thoughts on investing in performance marketing or product marketing initiatives right when you start?
See, I would not say कि benefit मिलता है किसी को भी. It's all like, one company, one team, all working together for a single goal, right? Isolation में no company can work out, right? So in terms of the marketing automation, which drives sale, I would say marketing के बिना sales नहीं हो सकता, sales के बिना marketing का कोई फायदा नहीं है, right? So the thing is this: if we are doing the product marketing piece and the CRM is being set up and whole automation stuff is being supposed to be implemented, I think automation is required when you want to scale up, right? Otherwise, the people are, manning the gates and all the leads which are coming inside. Sales can even, do the better job than the marketing, right? You don't need the CRM or something like that to be, automated. When you're doing that automation, it's all like whenever you're even sleeping, your customer is being engaged with, with your platform and the product. Okay. They don't feel lost at that time. So that's something really very important when we come to, talk about the automation part. And yeah, so, when the customer is being onboarded, we don't know, what time they're coming in, to use our product and, what time they are being signing up on the platform. all that stuff, happens instantly. And if you are not able to delight the customer, it's no more about the satisfaction of the customer. It's all about the, delightment. So if you're not able to delight that customer at that moment of time, you lost it, right? So that's why, the automation is really very important. And when we talk about the millions of customers, coming to the platform, whether it's B2B or B2C, automation is really very, a critical point, we should have to focus upon as a business.
Got it. So Debajit, Vaibhav and Himanshu, what are some of your thoughts on automation in sales teams, considering that you guys are leading sales teams across the globe, and Debajit, you lead a business unit. So how different is it, and how is automation critical? What is the criticality, and what are some of the automations that you are really kind of thankful for?
So I'll start with answering a part of Himanshu's question also on where does the dollar needs to go to. I think I loved what Nikhil said in terms of it getting invested in very early into the performance marketing piece also, because that's where the maximum burn comes in. And if you're actually trying to build a profitable organization in whichever number of years or months, then the first thing that needs to be controlled is the marketing cost. Along with that, I think we should also be careful about where are the maximum error rates coming from. And that's where I'll answer what Rucha, you also asked. For example, for me, I am in Car-Dekho. I manage a business of buying and selling used cars within Car-Dekho. And my maximum error comes from wrong pricing. So at the time of buying the car or at the time of selling the car, if I'm not able to predict the price of the car in the perfect manner, then I'll end up buying inventory which I can't sell, or I will, and therefore they remain stuck. There's an inventory cost, there's an interest cost, etc., and I'll have to sell it at loss later. So the automation that I'm really proud that we could bring about within Car-Dekho is driving this entire pricing engine from a manual format to an AI/ML format, where the system picks up what is the make, model, variant, odometer reading, ownership, the condition of the car, etc., based on, let's say, 220 odd checkpoints of the car, and then predicting a price. When we started the business, this was done manually. And a lot of my friends here would understand, when you're trying to structure a very unstructured environment, there are a lot of other parameters also come in which are more human dependent. And if it remains manual, then it becomes very easy to kind of fool the organization or vice versa. But as soon as it started coming from the system, we started realizing customers on both sides, both at the time of buying and at the time of selling, started trusting our price a lot more. They started saying that, okay, yes, understand pricing well. So that's the first problem solved. Post that, yes, there could be 4-5% negotiation, which we can do, which can be the manual bit. But at least the system is telling me this is what you should buy and sell the car at. One more automation that has worked really well for us is automating the inspection process. So for example, before, if you want to buy, if you want to sell your car, there would be an engineer who would come to your home or your office, inspect the car, and then give you a price of the car. Very cumbersome process. You have to book the appointment, they'll come, they do that entire process, and then go back. In terms of delight, Akshay, I think was talking about, that it was not leading to customer delight. What we changed to now these days is a self-inspection process. So right now, actually, a lot of insurance companies have also adopted it, where they would ask you to self-inspect the car based on 8 or 10 questions that you have to answer. Saves huge bandwidth. Manpower perspective, our maximum cost for where these engineers, that's gone. Secondly, the customer now knows that if there is an error, they have only done their error. It's not that someone else has inspected the car in the wrong manner and therefore the price has come up wrong. Right? And third is instant pricing. There they have to wait for inspection of the car. Let's say you are in office, you have to go down to the parking, stand with that person, or waste 1 hour over the weekend. Right now, you're doing the inspection maybe in 5-10 minutes and getting instant pricing through the AI/ML system that I was talking about. So yeah, a lot of industries, just like the auto tech industries, are growing because of automation. And that's why we are able to capture the market better, convert that unstructured market, something that Nikhil is working on, let's say on NoBroker, again, very unstructured, that entire space that some of these players are working on. Similarly, this space was also very unstructured before, but that conversion is happening through automation.
Thank you, Debajit. When we talk about unstructured industries now getting structured, I think Happy has done a fabulous job at that, because I still remember us sending out 500 emails saying that, I spent 500 rupees on a cab, and 200 rupees was my hotel bill. I spent 2,000 on booking a stay, and I want all of that money. So I still remember those days, and I was very happy, fortunate to have witnessed and used Happy as a product in one of the first organizations that I worked, and hence I know it firsthand how much they have actually radically changed the life both of an employee as well as the HR and the admin. Himanshu, over to you now. What are your thoughts? So an organization that has actually disrupted the way of doing business, what are some of your thoughts on automation?
So I think important change that happened with us is we're now part of CRED. So we decided to ramp up globally as a company. So we are in a unique space where obviously there is a travel expense solution, but we're scaling rapidly in B2B payments, right? So like I have to handle three completely separate product lines. One is travel expense, one is a payment structure, and one is kind of a competition to, let's say, Zeta. It helps people launch their own cards, right? So one of the important aspects, like every other panelist has talked about, is obviously the CRM. You need to have a CRM which can support multiple pipelines, different people working on the pipelines, and obviously support a global business, right? So, but other things that we try to do now is to also automate our billing process, because earlier, before I came in, I think there was a lot of mess in billing. We support automated billing via our product also. Like anybody can go and upgrade, right? So it's called organic growth, but we also support inorganic growth where we go and sign additional, SOFs with customers, increasing the contract value, or upsell or cross-sell other products, right? So, so I think one of the important things that a lot of startups miss in the initial cycle is to automate the billing. And the other thing is also implement a proper CPQ. While Salesforce, for example, has a decent CPQ, but it cannot handle the complications of fintech industry, right? So what we've done now is we have almost built our own CPQ, which integrates with Salesforce, and it can handle all the complications that we need to do. Otherwise, what used to happen is that approvals used to take a lot of time outside the system. Creating a code from Excel sheet was a big pain point. So we lost at least 2-3 days at the end of the quarter. So once we started automating this, I think it has really changed the life of at least the ops team, and also the sales team to make faster, stronger actions. And we are now focusing on automation on commissions side. We are also integrating that with Salesforce, as well as onboarding, right? So we're trying to automate as much as possible on the onboarding side, sending a script-based format to customers. And once they complete the data entry in a script, it automatically configures the system. So we're kind of doing all these things to help both our internal teams and customers.
Thank you. Yes, correct. So my next question is to you, Atul. So for someone, okay. So yes, so for someone who has been leading teams, what is something that you like you mentioned in the earlier times, in the last time that you were speaking, that sheets to CRMs now. What has that journey been like, and what do you think are the more intangible benefits, so to say, of that?
So I told you the main intangible benefits are you get more time to analyze and work on those insights from that data. Okay, the data was always there. In fact, I still remember, when I did my first, so the requirements, when we said what are the requirements, they gave us an Excel sheet, 29 worksheets. They said, "Ispe company chalti hai. Isko automate kar do." Okay. Now the very simple worksheets, one was sale by SKU, sale by volume, sale by price, sale by territory, so on and so forth. So when we automated that, and what we did was we made an India map for them. On every India could click the point and that geography will open the sales and they could filter down on. So they were like, when I actually saw when people are working, they were saying that kid has got a toy to play on. ये अच्छा है यार, दिल्ली का sales देखो 7up कितनी sale हुई है. अच्छा दिल्ली 7up versus Bangalore का 7up. Bangalore 7up ज्यादा क्यों बिकती है? They found out South में and it was that time 7up लोग drinks में मिलाते थे. तो 7up की सेल ज्यादा इसलिए होती है क्योंकि ड्रिंक्स में भी 7up मिलाई जाती है. तो that was the insight that came out of that. I'm just giving you a very old anecdote. This was about 15 years ago. Even today, when we do this win-loss analysis, close won, close loss analysis, we come out with such insights, and they were always there in that data. But because people are so busy spent preparing that data and preparing those charts, and nobody got the time to look what that data threw upon you. So I actually see that, the biggest benefit of this is you get time to analyze that data and you can derive your insights basis that, you can derive the org strategy basis that. So fundamentally, I think Aditya was saying that 3 types of people in the company, 20%, 60%, 20%. I have another definition. There are 3 types of people in a company. One who do the work, one who get the work done, one who decide what is to be done. So these are the front-end folks, the team leads and the senior management. I actually feel ये सबके लिए बहुत फायदा है to start thinking at the next level if they get this, because if I am doing the work, okay, and if I can see the report that my team leader is looking at, I can actually look at what his or her analysis or what his or her insights will be from there, and it will help me personally grow in the career. So I feel it's in everybody's interest to automate and to have a single source of truth always.
Correct. Yes, that is definitely a very, very important point. Now I would like to come to Rich and
just 1 minute. I'll need to drop off. I have another call starting in 3 minutes from now. Great talking to you, all of you folks. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Atul. It was great having you. Yes. So Bridge and Vaibhav, that is where I would like to know from you. How important is it, so when you're managing a team across a globe or people who are actually feet on street, how important is it to have a single source of truth? Because I think single source of truth is one where you kind of actually engage with your employees, and because they cannot, if they can't see that data, it is a very good way of letting them know that the data is transparent, and whatever data you get is the same one that I am looking at, and my decisions are based on data and not on probably any of the biases. So how important do you think it is? My question is for Bridge, Vaibhav, Debajit, Aditya, Nikhil, all of you.
Rucha, so basically I have been associated with companies which have high sales force trying to sell a tech product to people who are not well versed with tech. Okay, so the biggest challenge is that the person who is going out for selling that product is motivated enough to guide the person or the client so that he could understand tech and then buy the product. So for me, the biggest driver is motivator. What will motivate that team of 250 people who are going to hit the market and get sale for me? What will motivate them to go out every day and get that sale and get that pitch right? So as Aditya also said that there are only 20 to 25% of the people who are gunning for the incentive, and rest 75% are out of the game. So they are not in the game, they are just trying to make their salaries somehow. So at Square Yard, we were able to kind of crack that when we introduced gamification. So gamification in career progression, not in incentive, but in career progression. So what we did is that it was kind of a video game kind of thing where we introduced gold sheet for every level. And how automation helped is that it was customized for each and every employee of the company. So whenever he opens his employee portal, he can see that he is at this level. And if he does this much, then he will move to level 2, just like a video game. Okay. So what it does is that person does not have to wait for year-end appraisal. He knows that if he does this much, say in 3 months, 6 months, 2 months, he will reach to second level, he will get the promotion, will get the reward, and his next level starts from there. So if I talk about my team, so we have in last 6 months, I had around 60% of the people who got first promotion in less than 6 months, and around 20% who got multiple promotions. So how it helps is that now, rather than having 20% of the people going out in the market and with a intent of selling, now I have a sales force of 60 to 70% who are going in the market with a mindset of cracking that gold sheet. And it brings a lot of people in the game. And that is why, so if I talk about my team, we have seen around 1.8x increase in last 6 months. Just because people are able to crack that gold sheet, they see future in the company. And those people who are coming in the company also see that 60% of them have got promotion. So they are also in line for a promotion in less than 6 months. So as a company, gold sheet has worked, I mean, really great for us in Square Yards.
Okay, perfect, perfect. That is also something that we do at our organization. And I think Himanshu can elaborate more on how Compass has also actually gamified goal sheets. Exactly what you are talking about, just like we bring in the incentivization aspect also in that. Himanshu, would you like to speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I just want to also understand that right now the sales folks and the workforce that's there is super young, and it is very hard that if you can't keep in contact with them or communicate the crucial bits of information that's required to keep them motivated, and also how do you motivate them to understand that if they hit the numbers they get the incentives and stuff like that. So to make it easier and to automate everything, what we do at Compass is that we have programs that can be created, and we can ingest the data, and then we get the output. That's for the administrator or the person who's handling the team. So for all you sales leaders and everyone who's handling teams is very important, so that they can have a bird's eye view of what their team is doing. And for the employees or the sales folks, it is very, so what we have created an application for them. So we create milestones and we create the incentive structures, everything in the application, where they can just go on a daily basis, see what they're doing in real time. Also course correct, like if they're 50% away from what they're supposed to be earning, how do you course correct and get that get that dollars basically. So all of these things are all in Compass right now. And the thing that I realized that they want good UI and UX, the sales people right now. They are not the older generation one. So I am 26, 27, also working in sales before. So I wanted a better way to sort of look at things and understand where I'm at right now and how do I do better from here and how do I achieve my goal. So that is very important right now in any sales team, because if that automation isn't there and they don't have that view, they will be demotivated. So yeah.
Yes. Aditya, do you have something to add here? Aditya, Debojit, Nikhil, Himanshu, Akshay.
Briz has a wonderful idea of connecting this gamification with career progression. It's a wonderful idea, I must say that. It reminded me of India Mart, which used to have a 9-month appreciation plan. So that's a wonderful plan. So gamification, like Himanshu shared, that every salesperson should know where exactly they are as of now, today. So they can plan for tomorrow. Now again, the situation, and if I talk about the difficulty level and the challenges what field salesperson are having, let's say if I talk about Bombay, it's raining badly from last 10 days. But again, the manager will always ask, "Aaj ka dhanda kitna hua?" The question will remain the same in the night. So again, if I talk about their perspective, in the evening, if the business didn't come, they come with a low in the motivation and everything, and they just know one thing: my manager will call me and ask me where's the business, and I don't have an answer for it. So if I put my foot in his shoes, I'll be very, very demotivated. Boss, आज तो बंद करके phone चलो घर चलो, बंद करके दारू पियो. That is how the people think in the sales. But once if I have some tool which will give me, boss, ठीक है, आज का नहीं हो, but still have 4 days left, and I need to achieve this 3 milestone, and I can see myself at a better place. I can make a plan. I can use my brain. Look, brain is a wonderful things. If I use the brain to make excuses, it will help me with 100 new and creative ways to make excuses. If I use my brain, no boss, I need to do the business. I need to ask him, no boss, nahi hua aaj, but again, I need to do it tomorrow. I have just one question. I need to do it. I need to do it. The brain will give me 10 new ideas to generate business. So it is all about how I'm using my brain. So at that level, who are very young and immature and not that career-oriented guy, so we can shape them into the maturity level. They can increase the maturity level of them. They can think about the career progression plan. They didn't even plan where they want to see themselves 5 or 10 years down the line. But now they have something. So see, after a 9 month, I can see myself as a team leader. After, let's say, 2 years, I can see myself as a senior manager or somewhere in the whoa. So that is something. Give them an agenda, the goal. In sales, it's all about target goals. Again, nobody should actually scared of it. That's a random thing, but again, target is always a gigantic thing for anybody. But again, I always give one simple example for all the person in sales. Let's assume a game of football. There is a game is about to start. There are 2 goals, 9 people on this side, 9 people on that side. The game is about to start. Just at the moment, I just remove both of the goals. What the team will do? They have no idea what not to do. They just make the practice match. So goal will provide them the direction, never scared of target. So the gamification or all the tools will give them the target now where I need to go there and what effort I need to put. Use the brain in the right direction. So get the better result and they place themselves at a better position. Again, as a leader, it is our job to Atul said that our responsibility to ensure that my teammates should promote. They have promoted around 60 to 70% team got promoted. That is something, a biggest achievement as a leader, what we can have. It's not about my promotion. It's about if my team member are getting promoted, they are getting something that makes her happy. That is how a leader should look like. So again, this product and these things can make a vital role in this.
Okay, thank you. Vaibhav, I see that you are here back again. Vaibhav?
Sorry, Vaibhav, you're talking about Vaibhav?
Yeah.
No, Vaibhav, I don't think he's here because of the network issue. He's struggling to log in since long, yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw Vaibhav. I thought he's
no, there's attendee. We have one of the audiences also.
Okay.
Rucha, if you allow, I'll just add on the gamification
yes, please.
Idea. I think it will help a lot, of course, on the outcomes. If you plan it on the outcomes, it will help a lot if you plan it on the input factors also. And some bit of gamification on, let's say, what are the calling minutes that each person has, what are the in the pipeline, how many walk-ins or meetings, depending on the B2B or B2C kind of business, how many are they doing, if there is a clear correlation between the input and output. So I think Atul interestingly said that what if they do conversions without any meetings at all? Yeah, that's utopia. But if we know as a business that there's a correlation, gamification might help. And we've tried that in Gardeco also, that where are they moving in terms of the input factors. So let's say, like Aditya was saying, is a rainy day, at least the guy can show that I put in effort to make X number of calls sitting at home. And maybe the customer couldn't come, but he has a point to prove that I'm in the topper of the country in that input factor. So you can let me go, sir, to for today. So that I think will help all organizations planning it on input also.
Just to add on that, one point which Aditya had mentioned about managers trying to get their people promoted. So while that is good to have and every manager should do that, but we have seen that most of the managers have 2 or 3 star players in their team and they are dependent on those players for achieving their targets. So at Square Yards, what we have done is that we have also kept for a goal sheet of manager. We have kept how many promotions he has been able to deliver in last 3 months, so that he works on all the team members rather than depending upon 2 people to achieve his target. So that is one thing where as he said, that every manager should look to do that. But I have seen that 80% of managers don't do that. They are only concerned about their target, what they have to achieve, and they will have 2-3 good people under them who will help them achieve that, while rest are neglected. So we should have an inclusive approach at manager level where he tries to help everyone.
Okay, thank you. That's a very, very interesting insight actually. Giving targets to team leaders, not just to improve sales volumes or revenue, but to actually promote their team members is, I think, a phenomenal idea. And yes, on that note, can we have some questions from the audience, please?
Yes, everyone, if you have any questions with the panel, as I've mentioned, you can raise your hands and put your concern in the question to the speakers. Which I will wait for a while.
You can also, yeah, you can also drop it on the chat, and I will read it out. No questions, audience?
You can also mention on the chat box, audiences, if you want speakers to share some insights.
Okay, cool. Let us continue with that.
So, Richa, just to catch up, from where we left, a lot of the panelists here said that there are 20% of the people who are the star performers and 16 and 20 again. So that's one more thing I want to add with Compass is what's happening. A lot of our customers require that is leaderboards, and this is a part of the gamification aspect that we have right now. So there might be 10 sales folks, in one team, 20 in another team. How do you sort of keep a track of everyone, and how does the manager see everyone doing well? Because they are worried about the top three. Because if they don't get the numbers, managers are really upset at what's going to happen next. So with leaderboards, what happens is that they are getting real-time nudges, and the sales folks can see, okay, they're on the 8th position right now. What can I do with course correction in my milestone that's on the UI UX app? What do I change basically to get to number 3 or number 2? And how do I get the reward and incentive, which is tagged to that? So incentive everyone gets, but with Compass, what's happened is that you can choose like the top 3, get 1,000 points. So how do I get my incentive plus 1,000 points and also get the healthy competition up? So all of these things will motivate the younger generation, which is there right now. Because moving ahead, it's only going to be people who are 21 to 25, 26, who are the SDRs or the AMs and stuff like that. So for them, this is super important that they can on a daily basis see what they're doing, how much they're doing, and also that healthy competition will motivate them a little bit more. And everyone's on their phone nowadays. So this way, I think Compass is also a great hit with a lot of our customers.
Anything to add, Debojit, Aditya, Himanshu,
Yeah.
Nikhil, Akshay, Brijesh, anything?
See, I would like to add, my 2 cents over here regarding whether we need the automation or not. Many companies are still struggling for this thing कि हमें automation चाहिए ही क्यों? Manually कर तो रहे हैं. So the point is this: if you guys are like doing same thing on a daily basis and it's like a loop, same set of steps you are performing on a daily basis, then I think automation is really necessary. And how we can like know about it कि कौन सा automation चाहिए, हमारे को क्या करना है. So it's same like CRM. अगर हम देखें तो CRM के अंदर क्या रहता है? It's like same set of steps are being repeated by a customer, or not a customer, by a sales agent, or maybe a customer support manager or something like that, right? If the same set can be done by a CRM automation platform, or maybe any kind of a different platform which can send the emails, which can send the WhatsApp notifications, or maybe the app notifications, I think then the automation is really necessary. Now coming to the point whether it's a must-have or a good-to-have thing, if it's going to solve the problem on a daily basis, like you can scale up and just rely upon it, it's a must-have product for you. And if it's like it's just like adding more more extra steps for you to manage that platform as well as your team, then it's a challenge for you. And one more bigger point that I have come across in my life is like people do feel like these automation platform will be replacing the jobs, right? So
Correct.
honestly, even to man these gates, even to manage these platforms, people are required. So it's not going to happen at all. It's just going to add feathers to you, and you can just go ahead and make your whole system automated and get going with these platforms. So it's like that.
Correct. That brings me to a very interesting fact that when you said that if we have been doing it like that, what is the problem? What is the need for automation? And most Indian companies actually run a lot of their operations just like be it actually maintaining the record of how many sales have been done, and then on to calculating incentives on Excel sheets. So interestingly, I was in a customer meeting. I was meeting a customer the other day, and the customer mentioned that so this is a leading e-commerce delivery partner, and they told us that when they told us that they actually used to download the Excel sheet towards the end of the month. And I kid you not, it took him 28 minutes on call to just open that Excel sheet. Now imagine working on that Excel sheet on incentives. So this is just one example of how when to understand you that you really need an automation platform for a task like that. And more importantly, I was just reading about it, and 90% of the Excel sheets that all of us use have errors, at least one error. So, and multiply those
Even in the
errors.
sheets as well, you have some kind of a formulas and everything like that. That's also been an
Correct.
automation, right? So if you
Yes.
look at biggest platform like Amazon or maybe Flipkart or maybe Myntra or maybe Zomato and Swiggy today, if automation is not there, they won't be able to deliver so fast, right? So
Correct.
everything is
Correct.
dependent upon that, and we should take a reflection from these companies. And it's just the DNA that we need to change. It's not like manual intervention or manual touch points are always required, and we can always make sure that each touch point is being optimized for having manned by the automation platform.
Correct. Very, very interesting session. Any closing points from any of the panelists would be happy to have?
I mean, I just one. I mean, it comes from that Himanshu, that gamification of leaderboard as well as your Excel. So I mean, I still remember in one of my previous organization, because of a manual error, right, in processing incentives, there were like 60 to 70% of Salesforce who attrited because they did not receive their incentive. And at that moment, and it's a, and I'm telling a real story, right, in one of my previous organization, and within 1 month it was automated, and there and it was seen a marked increase in productivity, a marked increase in employee satisfaction. So I mean, as you mentioned, a lot of people think that delaying automation is helping them save costs, but if you look at the human resource cost, I think it's a lot to invest in automation. and and I think all sales leaders on this panel agree to it. So that in itself is a testament that yes, automation, gamification, all those things really work in sales.
Correct. Thank you. Anyone else?
Adding to the Nikhil's point only, like human resource you have today, it can be churned tomorrow, and
Correct.
pura process it's gonna go along with that guy only. So it's better to have the automated platform to take care of all that stuff.
Especially with the great resignation being around, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very interesting panel. And please feel free to, drop your closing notes, if any of the panelists. Everyone is, okay. Yes, Rich?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, perfect. It was happy. I'm very, very happy to be here today, and it was wonderful speaking to all of you today. And thank you for being a wonderful panel, and audience for being so patient and listening to all of us. Thank you, guys.
Yes, so
Thank
on
you.
this closing note also, on behalf of Brinalytics team and our partner Compass, we'd like to thank you for taking out your time on the weekends. It's a Friday and we have a weekend ahead. And we'll be sharing the sessions, the video with the audiences and the speakers as well. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely weekend and
Thank you,
stay
everyone.
safe. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Have a
Thank
lovely
you.
weekend. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye.